One of the things that you comment about in your on your personal website is the concept of servant leadership. Can you talk a bit about the concept of servant leadership and how that has been a successful leadership strategy for you over the years?
Well, there are different definitions of servant leadership. Yeah? I have kind of my own, and I think for me, it's a set of building blocks on how you interact with humans. Yeah? Because leadership is not only the people that are in your team, but leadership can also be even in a independent position. Yeah, so you can be a leader. But I would say it's multiple building blocks. For me, these building blocks include, not limited to, I would say, I often use start with why, meaning it takes me only 30 seconds more when I ask someone to do something to tell this person also why we are doing this.
Mm.
The topic of intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic
Mm.
motivation. I also believe that as a leader, you are in charge of your people and helping them, and they are not in charge of you. So my first thing when I deal with people in my team is, how are you? How can I help? And I learned this from my mentors, because this is a very important part, because then the discussion starts. And I also practice usually a rhythm, very strong rhythm of business with people, that I do even today in M&A, by the way, that I have a very strong rhythm of business. So rhythm of business with a team, I can explain you with based on the sales team or based on the marketing team, is I'll have a group call once a week. The group call, everyone talks about its projects, where they are working on, and where they need help from each other. This also creates some kind of bit of a group thinking, that if one person does never anything, it will be pushed from the team at some point. And then, of course, I will do one-on-ones, either once a week or every 2 weeks. But once a week is maybe a good term. Then I would say, as a leader, you need to be open for criticisms, so that you are open that people can actually criticize you as a manager as well. Another component for me is I never steal ideas from other team members and sell them as my own. Whenever I actually take ideas from a team member, I quote them that they had a good idea, because they might also need a promotion in the future, when they had a good idea. Right. And if we discuss a project or certain problems, and if a team member has a better idea than me, I'm more than happy to take the idea of this person and promote this also, that this person had this idea. And I think maybe last but not least, this is because I was so young when I started working internationally, is always take multicultural aspects into consideration with every action. An American person or a Spanish person or a French person or a German person or a Swiss person, they all have their own kind of cultural kind of thing. Of course, we are all humans, but they are in a certain environment with specific cultural aspects. And I think as a leader, it's very important to be aware of this, and also to take care of this in the way on what you expect from the people, or how you interact with the people. I would say this is like the rough components that I see as part of leadership that helped me a lot to work with people over time. Yeah.
Fascinating. I mean, yeah, this is something that is not talked about enough, in my opinion. People love talking about businesses and how, they did this transaction or that transaction, but really, with each passing week, you're working with your team. And if you don't have a strong team, if you're not really connected with what's going on for them, if you're not helping them in their careers, you can't execute these big moves, right? You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you can talk forever about diversity and equity and inclusion and about values that you defined on some papers and then nobody lives it. that's something that I also know how to do, but it's very it's not practical in the end.